Welcome. You're listening to the Rutten River Pursuits podcast. Join our epic pro staff around the Sonic Campfire for stories and adventures from our eastern mountains to the Chesapeake Salt. Let our highs and lows inspire you to take to the outdoors.
Hey guys, welcome once again, sitting around the Sonic Campfire here at Rutten River Pursuits. Our podcast today is in Florida. Woo! We have flown down to the great state of Florida, where I hear that it is the fishing capital of the world, and so far it has not disappointed. We have a great guide with us. We'll tell you all about Mr. Andrew today, who has put in a lot of hard work to get us all our first on a bunch of different things. Yeah, it's been amazing. The weather here has been really good for us. It's rained on us thus far once. It's been extremely hot compared to Pennsylvania, and we're super stoked to tell you all about what we've done. It's been a first for a bunch of us. So, introductions. I'm Catfish.
I'm Steve. I'm Sean.
And I'm Will. And this is Andrew.
There's Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
Howdy.
Drew's like the best fisherman I know with the least amount of followers on Instagram.
I try to keep it low key.
Yeah, you can't put all these awesome spots you put us on out there for everybody to see them. I mean, that's pretty tough, because a lot of these spots that we've bounced around for peacock bass fishing are the peacocks are a little territorial, and I believe the guys that have the fishing spots are too.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. It gets tough down here.
Let's start real quick before we get into how amazing our fishing trip has been. Tell us where you grew up, Andrew, a little bit about yourself, how long you've been fishing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no problem, man. So, born and raised in South Florida. Lived out in Hollywood, Florida, down by the beach when I was younger, and moved out west to Pembroke Pines, where I grew up, through high school and stuff, and started fishing all the freshwater lakes out west, which is where you start seeing a lot of different variety of species show up. You can get everything from snook, tarpon, peacock, largemouth, all in the same area. So it gets to be pretty fun and exciting. I've been fishing probably since before I could walk. My uncle up in Pennsylvania, surprisingly, thankfully, actually gave me a fishing pole for my first birthday present. So that got put to good use.
It turned you into a fishing monster ever since.
Yeah. That's a bad thing sometimes, but yeah.
I think I know that guy.
Yeah. He's a little familiar to some of us.
The legend.
The legend. Old Lenny boy.
So what all do you fish for down here in Florida, Andrew?
Oh, man. There's too much to name.
Salt and freshwater.
Salt and, yeah. So far we've been catching peacock, tilapia, blue and spotted, mine cichlids, largemouth bass, spotted gar. It's been a great trip. Went and saw some tarpon last night rolling. Didn't get tight on one, sadly, but if we put in a little bit more time, I think we would have got tight. But
so. Just off the top of your head, your heart tells you what's your favorite species to fish for here in Florida?
Let's say freshwater. What's your favorite freshwater?
All right, that makes it easier. Freshwater down here, I'd have to say, is the peacock, man. That thing, besides the colors, the shows, the different types of attitudes they have, it seems like, I don't know, every fish is different. They have their own personality. They have their own...
They're like a snowflake.
No one's the same. And that is true. I mean, the spots on the back, you'll never see a pattern on a peacock the same as the other, just like a fingerprint. So it makes them unique all in their own way. And I find it unique, too, with all our waterways being so different. You can go down to Miami and catch... basically Amazon-styled fish in crystal clear blue canal water, and then go up to Broward and fish a dark black lake and catch a black peacock. It's funny how within 20 minutes you can catch a completely different fish in the same species.
So, Andrew, how did the peacock bass get... there's an introduction process.
So right? FWC, I don't want to tell you a year, but FWC back in the day saw this problem with invasive species being the blue tilapia, spotted tilapia, Mayan cichlids, your stuff like that. Because, native to Florida, you have your bowfins, your mudfish, your largemouth, bluegill, your spotted red ears, stuff like that, natural. All these exotics, are not natural to Florida. So they looked for an apex predator that would coexist well with largemouth and all the native species, but put a good handle on the exotic species that came into fruition. So the peacock did a pretty good job, and peacock candy down here is a nice jewel cichlid or Mayan, small, nice sized Mayan cichlid. They can't turn them down.
Yeah. So how about saltwater, Andrew?
Saltwater, man, I'd have to say, it's tied. It has to be tied between redfish and tarpon, probably. Redfish just because I catch them more. Tarpon's more that elusive species for me. But up in Orlando, where I'm originally from, going to school up there, well, not originally, I should say, where I'm going to school, our fishery for redfish up there is phenomenal. So it's I'm a little spoiled to be up there, and I have some good buddies that I go out with up there that showed me the ropes, and it's a good time catching a 40-inch redfish, going on a minute-long run. Can't stop them. Yeah.
So let me jump right into my experience getting here, and we can. I want everybody just tell everybody how amazing the. It's not like back home fishing where you go and you hit a lake all day. You might hit different spots in this lake all day, but down here, since I've gotten here, we
probably hit 20 different lakes.
Yeah, at
20
least
different bodies of water.
Yeah, and I got out. Went to our first fishing spot, and Andrew put us on the fish. I got my first peacock bass ever within 5 minutes of getting out of the truck. It's just amazing fishing.
Stevie had his on his first cast.
Yeah, first cast. I couldn't believe it.
Within a minute.
It wasn't even a minute.
It took us a minute to walk over there.
It took longer to walk from the porch to the lake.
I hit the record on the GoPro, and when you casted. And the GoPro didn't have a time to start recording before that fish was on. You already set the hook. Yeah.
But within half an hour, I had 3 new species. This is.
Yeah, that's how it is.
It's
insane.
Phenomenal. Yeah, my first pea was on a live shiner, a medium-sized live shiner, and they just fight ridiculous. Yeah. They're so ferocious, and back home, if you miss a strike on a bass, a lot of times you can't get that bass to re-strike, especially when you're sight fishing. You throw at them. Down here, these peacocks will come at it, even if they already hit the bait. Yeah. I swear the one that I was watching that I was throwing at actually hit the hook. I felt him, so I thought that would spook him away, but he didn't. He came back for the bait, and so I caught what's the awesome fish that I caught?
The Mayan cichlid.
And it was a pretty big one for that species.
Oh yeah. It was a nice porker. It was a big size.
They're gorgeous. They have orange and pinks on them, and they look like a.
Yeah, and those fish pound for pound put up a really good fight.
They're amazing. They're amazing fighters.
I don't think I've ever seen you as enamored with a fish. You'll just stare at it for a while. And we got to fish a little bit, bud.
Yeah, no, I've taken close-up pictures of that Mayan as well. That Mayan fish is, to me, seeing pumpkin seed bluegills back home, purple phase, there's some really beautiful bluegills back home if you take the second to look at the coloration on them. Yeah. These Mayans put those to shame.
There's no comparison.
Yeah, it's almost like a bluegill woke up in the morning and instead of just putting a bow tie in its hair and going to work, it woke up, did all its makeup, got prepped, got the mani-pedi, and got all nice and airbrushed, and then got their photos taken, and then you photoshopped more shit into it, and then just dumped sunshine on a mirror with some purple and Smurf colors on it.
That's the best description I think I've heard.
Yeah, so jump on our Instagram and you can see a couple pictures of them while you're listening to the podcast. But so for me, I caught my first peacock, my first Mayan cichlid, and I was stoked. And that was in the first 5 minutes of fishing. I don't have to do anything here. Will took me fishing up in Canada, up in upper state New York, with
Captain Jimmy, right?
Captain Jimmy Del Rey. And I didn't have to do anything, and I was really anxious. I've never done that. I've never not been the person tying up and doing all this stuff for other people. And since I've been here, I've literally had to do nothing. Andrew is pretty much setting hooks for me, going, here, bud, take this rod. And now I know how Ryan Madera... Now I know how Carp felt whenever I first took him whopper plopper fishing. Like, he's on, bud, here's a rod. Because Andrew's done that for me a couple times. This has been awesome for me.
He has 2 rods per person, and just he's got, here, take this, I got this.
Here's the bait, yeah.
You guys are making me blush.
I got you.
And it's wild how it's small tackle, no split shots, no swivels. I mean, it's
hook and line.
Hook and line.
I've never
get at it.
free-lined a shiner before.
I'm sure you will now after this.
Yeah, it's always been something.
I'm
never free-lined shiner.
I mean, when I was younger, I used a bobber, like most others. And when you take that bobber off and you start free-lining them, you can tell the world of difference, man. You can tell the world of difference. It was one of those wake-up call things where, you're stubborn in your own ways and you want to do it the way you do it because you still catch fish. And I've come to learn, that's a big, big mistake. And I would be around, we'd go out 3 people. I'd be the only one not catching fish, and I'm the only one with the bobber on my line. So I said, screw it one day, and I just took it off and never put one on after that.
It was hard yesterday. You're like, just throw it out there. No, wait, no, just the hook and the line.
But it works.
It works, yeah.
We're using small shiners, sadly, so it's a little hard to, feel them. But when you're using those bigger shiners, it's a game changer because you can feel them where they're at. You can feel what they're doing.
It gives them more freedom to.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's why I use
natural,
those. That's why I use those small, size 1 or even lower hooks. Those you want that small shank. Yeah, J hooks all day.
The J hooks.
It's all in the hook set, man. That's what makes fishing fun. You got to turn heads.
At the open spool, just to let that minnow kind of do it at once and kind of semi be natural, but encumbered.
Yep, exactly. And that's also time to give the fish time to eat it because, those cichlids, Catfish even pointed out when we were on the boat, those cichlids, they're not dumb fish. They'll come out and they'll nip the tail. They'll injure the fish before they eat it. So having that open bail gives you a little bit of freedom to allow that fish to play with the bait.
Sure. Yep, and I did. I brought in quite a few shiners with the tail ripped up. And the cichlids have these weird, lumpy teeth. They're
almost like a sheep's head. If anyone's ever caught a sheep's head,
not a lot of teeth, but bigger.
It's like
teeth.
It's like a bony, just stud in their mouth. Almost.
I got cichlid thumb.
Oh, I got bad cichlid thumb. And then when you get cichlid thumb and you're the guy that has to keep grabbing the bait for everybody, and it's like green water to keep them alive longer, you get green cichlid thumb.
Yep, absolutely.
That's true.
It's like dye.
I'd never even put that together.
Sean, tell me. I mean, this has been a really exciting trip for all of us, but I think you really got something accomplished that you really wanted to get done. Like, it was super
not a lot of
special
people
to
do
Sean.
it either.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people.
Before we do that, though, can you guys tell us what it was like to watch Catfish and I fish a whole day before you got here?
Be quiet.
Yeah, so Sean and I, you guys got here Tuesday, right? And Sean and I didn't get here till Wednesday. And we had to, I had to ask you guys to stop sending pictures because I was getting nothing done at work. It was terrible. It was really hard.
I was doing my desk job that day, and let me just say, I did not get much done that day.
So just stop.
The old Phil was like, I need this.
Yeah.
He was like, keep sending them, boys.
Oh, it was
Uncle Buck was not having your shenanigans.
I know. Yeah, he yelled at me.
So back to Sean. That was cool to watch. I honestly didn't believe that, just from my experience watching, like how when the minnows kind of, expired and they weren't lively anymore, so did
the action went down.
The action went significantly down.
You could still get it done, but you had to really work it. You had to work the bait.
Yeah, you really had to work the fly too. I'll give a little background to this trip. Last year we were just all sitting around talking, and I had come on a cruise down here. We cruised out of Miami in December, and I knew from reading, I think it was the early 90s, Andrew, that they put the peacocks in here.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and I knew that there was peacocks down here, and when I was a kid, I always tell everybody, when I was a kid, I'm so old that there was no Outdoor Channel, there was no Pursuit. The only outdoor shows you could watch was Saturday morning and Sunday morning on ESPN. Mm-hmm. Well, my dad and I, we would always watch Bassmasters and the fishing shows and stuff like that, and they were always going down to the Amazon fishing for peacock bass. So since the time I was like 12 years old, I wanted to catch a peacock bass. And we come down to go on this cruise down here, and of course I'm with my family. I don't know where to go. I had a day here, just not going to waste my time trying. So I said to the guys, there's peacock bass down in Miami. Let's do it. I said, we can do it cheap. Then Will said, well, hey, I got a cousin down there. Let's hook up with him. Let's get down. So it all ended.
I know a guy.
I know a guy. Yeah.
That knows a guy.
It's the cousin factor kind of thing going on. We do a lot of that here.
There's a lot of cousins in this truck right now.
But anyway, we all decided we get together, we put this trip together down here, and like I said, my dream since I was like, a little kid is to catch a peacock bass. Well, now I'm the fly fisherman that I am, so of course that means catch peacock bass on the fly rod. And I had it in my head, I'm coming down here, I'm doing it, I'm going to work at it until I get one. Well, like first cast, I think I missed one. Second, a little bit later,
change up the pattern.
While Steve's catching his one on his first cast, I'm actually watching a peacock come out, slam it, suck it in, and spit it out so fast that it was like lightning quick. I missed it. So I'd missed 2 fish. And I was like, well, I'm in Florida. I'm not leaving here without a peacock bass. I'm getting the shiner on. We're going to catch some fish. So we caught a couple peacocks and stuff and cichlids. And then later on that evening, we decided to hit some other lakes. And that's when I finally got my first peacock on the fly. And
got the fly rod back out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the great thing was Catfish said, I'm going to take... he said, you go fish. I'm going to videotape. We're getting it on tape. And we got my first peacock on the fly, on video.
Yeah,
on
I got the whole thing on video. And to tell you what, I've seen you catch fish and been around you, excited over things before.
Yeah.
I've heard the excitement of like when you were talking about your bear hunt experience.
Yeah.
But there was a cool look in your eye, man, when you were reeling that peacock in on that fly rod.
I have caught thousands of trout, and even when I catch a big one, I get excited, but I do not get as excited as I was when I caught that bass.
You could see it in your body, body. Yeah.
That was like a 30-year dream come true.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you, Bub. It was awesome.
And then I did manage, after that, I did catch a humongous tilapia, or at least humongous to me.
Yeah, that was a big tilapia.
And I think that's the only one we've caught on the trip so far.
When it's got the tilapia,
And a lot of people, tilapia is not that big of a game fish, but there's multiple types of species of tilapia that people don't realize. You caught a spotted tilapia.
Okay.
Those big ones we were seeing in the lake cruise by, those are blue tilapia.
I did see some big ones. Yes.
Yeah, those are some big blues.
So did you catch a Mayan on your fly rod yet?
I did not get a Mayan on the fly rod.
Because that might be a pretty good fight.
Oh, that'll be a heck of a fight.
I'll tell you what, that tilapia was a good fight too. They're so thick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So right after you caught the tilapia, like a second after that, Will had a nice peacock on, and then I jumped your hole that you caught the tilapia out of and landed a peacock. So we got
classic Steve.
Yeah, that's typical what I do.
Jumpers.
And we actually have a picture of a triple hook up there.
Yep. Yeah, it's been incredible.
Minus me with the camera.
Yeah.
The camera guy never seems to get in the pictures.
We'll get a quintuple hook up here picture at some point. I think that would be 5, right?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
So here's to give you guys kind of an idea of what we're talking about. Down here, it's a lot like back home. It's a lot like bluegill pond hopping at the farm ponds. Like you drive one farm, another farm, getting bait for catfishing. You jump in the truck and run to a spot and you fish for 5-15 minutes or something until Andrew says it's not going to happen. And you jump in the truck and head to another spot. But there's so much water here in Florida. Another spot may be across the street or half a block away.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Like you get in the truck,
you turn
the AC on. You move the truck 50, 60 yards down the road, and you jump back out.
Yeah, and that's a big adjustment for people, too. A lot of people, when they fish, they want to stay.
Yeah.
They want to stay where they're at. They want to, the water looks good. I see fish. I know fish are going to bite. That's not always the case.
And we even left a couple spots yesterday that were producing, just to
Yeah. And I mean, even to
go
put
to
it
a
in
different
perspective, I don't like to hammer fish, but we hit that one spot the first day. Will and Catfish came, and we went to the same exact spot just to check it out when you guys came, and that's where we were getting them.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
Yeah, it was a hot spot both days. The place where you caught your peacock bass.
That usually is my best spot. I don't like to overfish it too much. Thankfully, I don't live down here, but it's my best population that I have down here.
Another big thing we caught, Stevie managed to catch a big, huge turtle.
I did. That was a nice turtle.
I was trying to get him out of the water.
Yeah.
And he popped off right at the bank. Yeah.
I don't know. They might have a longer neck than a snapping turtle. That thing had.
I was about to find out.
Yeah.
I was 2 seconds from dragging him up for an Instagram pic.
Catfish was about to become Turtle Man instead of Catfish.
Yeah. What kind of turtle was that, Andrew?
Soft shell.
Soft shell turtle.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's really tough down here to get adjusted to not only the heat but the wildlife. I walked out of the hotel room and had a lizard almost run over my foot, and you just don't see those types of things back in Pennsylvania.
No.
Oh yeah, the wildlife here for such a suburbia, for so much construction and just so much development. There's a ton of wildlife.
There's a peacock on the highway.
Yeah, which makes you imagine. If I've always told my girlfriend this is, we're avid kayakers up in the Central Florida area. If anyone's ever there and they're outdoorsy, and you're visiting Disney or something, take a day to go out into the outdoors of Orlando and see some of the beautiful springs we have and some of the beautiful cypress trees and woods we have. It's a great place to be. But
some of the beautiful Everglades you showed me last night.
Oh yeah. Hopefully we could have been there more. We got run out by bugs, but what I was saying is,
bad.
yeah, I always tell her when we're out in the kayak, I can't imagine how the natives lived in this land in Florida.
They had an agreement with the bugs.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Like
some bugs,
contracts.
alligators, snakes, spiders, everything, man. It's something else down here, man. It's a blessing to be able to live down here.
Yeah, and the mosquitoes down here in the Everglades they're not like typical back home mosquitoes. They're more like
Rambo.
2.5 pounds.
Rambo
pounders. 2.5 pounders. When they bite you in the left arm, you feel it in the right. Type of stuff. And they were literally chasing these guys back to the truck.
We got out of the truck for 2 minutes in the Everglades and got back in, and everybody was tore up.
Got some hitchhikers. They flew in the truck doors. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah. So after I caught my first peacock, my first Mayan, I had a really good. We were fishing the spot where Sean Holsinger caught his first peacock. I ran across the street to a little drainage ditch, storm-looking storm drain.
Yeah, culvert pipes is what they call them down here.
Yep, a culvert pipe. And I was throwing the whopper plopper up this straightaway canal, and something smashed the medium-sized whopper plopper, knocked it the whole way out of the water, but I didn't know what it was, and it was a big fish.
Yep.
And so there was some lily pads and grass towards the bank, so I couldn't bring it in real well without having to clean it every time. And whenever hit it, missed it, I threw it twice more, didn't come back. So I decided to throw the frog on, the weedless frog, and throw it out there. This thing came back 4 or 5 times, not only hit it, but chewing on it, chewing holes in that rubber frog.
No kidding.
And it was 2 big gar. They're alligator gar, correct?
Those were spotted.
Spotted gar. 2 spotted gar just tearing this thing up, but I couldn't get a hook set on them. But it sure was fun to tease them and mess with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spotted or common gar.
Okay.
We've had 2 other gar hookups. Will caught one, and Stevie had one right to the boat, just barely hooked in the.
Yeah. They don't really have a predator. They thrive.
So that day one, after we do some of this stuff, day 2, we took Andrew's boats. We got them all ready, put the trolling motors on them for this little canal. They're big canal systems, but it's not big canal. You could cast across it. We put the John boats, the two aluminum John boats in, and we split up. Me and Andrew went in one boat, and the 3 guys, Sean, Will, and Stevie, all went in the other John boat. And we went down the canal. We caught a bunch of fish, but I was more centered around looking into the water. That was intriguing to me because you can see down in, and then it goes so far, and then it's just black. Like that canal is deep.
Oh yeah, you're looking. You can have visibility 6 feet in the water.
But it's so easy to sight fish here because everywhere you go, you see fish.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not like a lake or something or a river that there might be fish over in this spot, there might be fish over in this part of this lake. There's fish everywhere.
Yeah, it's almost weird. It's weird when you don't see fish.
Yeah.
And the thing about the fish too is a lot of it is territorial. Like, we're sight fishing for these fish, and you throw a shiner in by their bed, it's getting hit.
Yeah.
Like, it's a territorial strike, and that's why one thing when you do fish down here and you're fishing with shiners, you need a lot of them.
Yeah.
You throw it on the bed like we talked, like we talked earlier.
Yeah.
They're crushing it just to get it off their bed. They're hitting and smacking it and throwing it out, and that's killing the shiner. They're not that strong of a fish.
Yeah.
So you go through a lot of shiners to do it. But man, if you like those tilapia especially, if I would see one of them on the bank, pitch that thing in there, you were on.
It was gone. Yeah,
Yep.
they were crushing it. And we went through 10 dozen shiners yesterday like it was nothing.
Oh yeah, I mean, you guys, we didn't start fishing till what, 2:30,
Yeah. Yep.
and we were done we were at La Spada's at 5.
We were having lunch at 5. Yeah.
So we went through them that quick.
Yeah. And yesterday morning, me and Andrew did a fun stealth mission. We are staying at a golf resort. And so I got up real early. Andrew came over yesterday morning, and we ran around 18 holes of the golf course, hitting all these ponds. And everything looks primed on these ponds, and you can see fish in them. You can see bass and gar and peas. You can see everything in them. And we ran around the golf course and had a blast throwing topwater and big swim baits. And tell them what we saw at that one pond, Andrew. I mean, it looked like a peacock circus going on, like acrobatic.
I mean, for people that up north, that know the striper blitzes and stuff like that. I mean, peacock generally do the same thing. And when I was telling Catfish, they're cannibals. I mean, I'm sure other fish are. I just don't know much about other fish like I do peacocks. They'll spawn, they'll lay the eggs will hatch. Fry will be out for about 1 to 2 weeks. They'll be around mom. Literally, you'll see mom and dad traveling with the school, pods of fry. And then a couple weeks later, little do you know, mom and dad start eating them. Because while that time when the fry are with them, they're not eating. All they're doing is protecting. And so finally, I guess that trigger in their mind switches where they're hungry and they just decide to eat their own.
Yeah.
And that's what we were seeing. I don't know if you could see the little fry jumping out of the water, but there's probably a dozen or more peacock just destroying little fry.
And it wasn't just like we were fishing off the bank and it was down to our left and it was right off the bank.
Yeah. And you had to be there, obviously. Words can't describe what it looks like. Most I can say is like a striper blitz.
Yeah. And it was crazy. It wasn't like there was just 1 or 2 peas jumping out of the water. There was multiple big peacocks jumping out of the water, and it wasn't. It almost looked like a boat sunk, like a paddle wheel boat sunk, and only the paddle was sticking halfway out of the water. It was just splash, 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 splash. There's fish everywhere going nuts.
Oh yeah, fly out the water, just
look like. The only thing I could picture in my mind to kind of explain it is if you ever watch on TV how like piranhas go in and attack something in big groups, real fast, ferocious, lots of bubbles, lots of splashing. It was like that, but at the tip-top surface of the water. Like they were blowing up over the water. And we ran down there and tried to throw topwater at them, but as quickly as it happened, it was over just as quick.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
My research before coming down here, wanting to catch one on the fly rod, one of the things that I was reading from a lot of things on the internet was one of the best flies to use for peacock bass is a baby peacock bass fly.
Yeah, peep pattern.
Yeah.
Which is finally what you got hooked up on, was that?
No, actually, it was a pattern that I used back home for smallmouth and trout. A goblin fly, which a buddy of mine created, that he fishes the Susquehanna for smallmouth with a lot. But we kill the trout on it too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, while we're out in the John boats, we're seeing all these awesome different kinds, and you can see all these different species of fish, and we're heading around. We were about, I want to say, not an exaggeration, 13 miles from the house down these canals. And you get down to this long canal, a couple football fields, and you make a right. And then you make another left, and then you make a right, and you go under these trees, and you make a left and another left. And then you get down another canal that's to the right. They're all connected. It's so much water that every time you make a turn, you're going, okay, this has to be the end. There's just more and more and more and more and more water. And we were pretty good distance away from where our home base where we started out at, and we could hear it it is Florida. We could hear it in the background
for 2 hours.
Low rolling thunder for 2 hours. Yeah. So because of the fact that we were so far away from the house and sitting in aluminum boats, we decided
with electric motors
that there was no real sense to go in until it happened. Like hell showed up. The skies turned black. Zeus came out, stabbing the world with thunderbolts. It was ridiculous. And I tell you what, it rained very lightly on Will, Sean, and Steve in the other boat. Me and Andrew weren't but 50 yards from them, and it was not raining on us. How crazy was that?
Oh, yeah. I've had situations where it's raining in the front yard, not in the backyard.
Yeah, Andrew's looking over. He's like, look at that. Look, that's so wild. It's raining on them right there and not on us. And but Mother Nature didn't let us off the hook. She came with a fury.
Yeah. The only other boat that I saw in the canal there was the Jenny 1 with...
Yeah. The electric paddle boat.
With Gump and Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah. So as we're headed back to 72 miles back to base camp.
Lieutenant Dan screaming at the top of the mat.
Soto, you come out!
You forgot about that jumbo Tundra Swan decoy paddle boat.
Well, that's the wild thing. In these canals, there's a lot of decoys floating around. I don't know if hunters lost them or people throw them out for fun, but everywhere I go, I'm like, oh, check that goose out. Oh, that one's not real. Oh, check that swan out. That's not real. And then we go right by a real one at like 8 feet, and I'm like, man, does that thing look real? Wings come attacking the John boat, trying to steal our shiners. Like, that one was real.
Will almost ran into about half a dozen of those big swan decoys because his spotter was...
He was aiming for
my point person
was busy doing other things.
Fishing.
He was so good at helping me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, captain the boat. And I even tried to fish a little bit at one point. And it was impossible to keep the boat. Because if I put myself in position the way the wind was and everything like that, then, Sean and Stevie, they weren't near where they needed to be. So,
well, that's what's nice about running a boat, Will. Next time you know to just go ahead and take care of yourself. Don't worry about the guys in the front. They have enough time to crack sodas open and hand you shiners all day long if they're not fishing. So I watch for swans, things like that.
I had probably the best on the boat because I didn't have to do anything. Sean handed me the bait whenever I needed bait, and Will captained the boat, and I ignored everything around me except fishing.
I can't tell you. I'm like, when you see a man-made plastic thing, please tell me that we're getting close because I'm not always focused. Like I have other things I'm trying to work on. And then I had to get a little tough love, and I said, I had enough at one point, and I said, Stevie, do you think it would be better if maybe Sean took point? and Stevie's like, no, but I got it. I'm sorry.
So I took point in the other boat, which is, how big was it, Andrew?
10-footer. All reliable.
Me and Andrew were in a 10-foot John boat with a brand new battery that we had just got from Walmart. And
weight class for 235.
Yeah, it says I'm sitting in the front of the boat, and I'm used to kayaking, okay. But I'm sitting in the front of the boat on this 10-footer in this little tiny platform seat
romantically facing each other.
Yes, that's it.
It did look sweet.
I'm facing the back of the boat. Andrew's facing the front of the boat, and I'm looking at this sticker on the thing, and it says 2 persons are 280 pounds. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm 225. And we just put a brand new battery on the boat, which is close to 80 pounds or better. So, okay, so there's the weight limit. Now we got 6 bags, a cooler, rods, gear, and then I'm looking over at Andrew going, but I hope you weigh negative 35 pounds. But it made it. I mean, it was an awesome trip, and it was really cool experience. But I have some balance issues, and I tried to stand up. And Andrew's running around the thing like he's, running around on the ground. And so I tried to stand up. My balance issues got to me a little bit as I'm, wide stepping it. I got a foot on both gun walls, trying to do the wide step. And I'm looking around. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I can sight fish. And all we did was like the wind shifted us, or maybe Andrew like twitched his ankle. But boy, did I go down. I thought I was going in the water for sure. Yeah, I fell back on the middle seat. And the only thing I could think of on the way down is, my knife is laying on that seat, and I'm gonna get shanked in the butt, yeah. Or I'm gonna land right on our bait bucket, and there's gonna be shiners all over the boat.
I had a little bit of a learning curve myself. Andrew said, just hit one for about 5 when we're drifting, because you don't want to go too quickly. You're just gonna go down through this canal, and Andrew's like, just hit one on the trolling motor for about 5 seconds and let it, just let her go. Our boat's a little bit heavier, and it was a little bit windy. So I would look up, and you guys were gone.
We didn't wait much for you because we knew you knew what you were doing. You were captain at that point.
He had it.
Plus, we were trying to get the Black Crappie Cove before you.
Right.
Black Crappie Point.
Crappie Point.
You guys had to bail water out of that boat at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what I
do not have a bilge pump on my 10-foot boat.
As Mother Nature decided to bail on us, it was raining on you guys, and then it did eventually rain on us. We turned around when the lightning came out and said, all right, let's head back. And, all joking aside, we were quite a ways away from home base.
Yeah, we're about 1.5 miles out, 2 miles out.
And so as we're going back with the trolling motors of these John boats, it is raining so intense. It is raining so hard that our 10-foot John boat is filling up with water rather quickly. And I even moved from the front seat to the middle seat to get back quicker. And the water had built from the transom all the way up past the first seat towards my feet in the middle.
Wow.
And so I had to cut a water bottle off. Andrew's like, here, take this water bottle and get this water out of this boat. We cut a water bottle off, and I was literally bailing the boat out to get back because it was raining that hard.
Yep.
I turned around to look at you guys at one point, and it was that stinging type of, it even comes up from the bottom type of rain.
Yeah. And then the second we get back, look what happened.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Stop. Gorgeous blue skies.
Florida.
And we dried out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that rain was refreshing, though. It was so hot.
Oh, my.
And as fun as the fishing was, we had such a great time. I do have to throw this out there. Right after this, we went for the hoagie of all hoagies.
Ooh, good night it was, wasn't it?
Andrew took us to the place.
The Spadas.
The Spadas.
They just whip meat at each other.
Yeah, they throw meat through the air.
Throw meat down the line.
Cut it right there.
Catch it with the sandwich.
Well, every time they put more stuff on my sandwich, I was thinking, okay, it's done. No, after they're done piling on all the meats and all the stuff on top of it,
all the veggies,
then they take a big armful of roast beef and slap it on top of everything.
And tuck it all around.
Tuck it all around like you're tucking a baby in.
Yeah. You have this big meat-wrapped salad shoved in between a roll.
Oh, it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, man, that was really good.
Yeah, it looked like a ham calzone. Only it was just made of ham.
It was so good.
Yeah, that's my spot right there.
And then after lunch, we ran around and did the...
went and got some bait.
Yep.
Went and tried to get some more peas, and I mean, for a little knowledge for anyone listening, not knowing how peacock fishing is, What we usually like to do is early morning, if we want a whole day of fishing, early morning we'll go for our snook, tarpon, largemouth. Middle of the day, usually when fish are going away and everyone wants to go in, heat of the day is when that heat of the peacock bite turns on, man.
And that's crazy. It's the exact opposite as back home.
Yeah, and I mean, it sounds weird to hear, but I mean, you guys witnessed it, It's, when that sun's out, they're eating. When that sun's gone, they're not. And it's just how it is. So we went out and we tried getting some peacock right before the sun went down and got some decent-sized cichlids, some lions, which is, giving secrets out now, but, that's the best freshwater snook and tarpon candy you can get is a nice cichlid or a nice spotted tilapia. That one you caught was a nice size for bait, too. And put them in the Engel, put them in the 30-quart bait cooler, and brought them over to a good buddy of mine, Steven Sanchez. Give him a follow on Instagram. Hit one of his spots, which for a freshwater tarpon, and we saw, a couple 30s, 30-pounders, 40-pounders rolling out in the distance, but nothing like that potential for there. I've seen 100-pounders in that lake, and which is crazy, like I told you, we're literally, at most, what would you say that drive to the Everglades was from that spot?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, so relatively short. And, and you're seeing a fish that people generally around the world think is only a saltwater fish. Some people go to Bass Pro and they'll see tarpon in the tanks and stuff, and that's real. That's freshwater. You can see tarpon living with largemouth. And it's a baffling thing to think about, but
when you say lake, though, we're not talking like a 10,000 acre lake. This is like
we're talking about a
10-acre lake.
It's a man-made lake
in a community.
Yeah, it's a community. So as everyone knows, Florida's flat. So these houses, since we're at such a flat level, they don't want these houses being at a even level with the ground, because flooding, as you saw, catfish flooding is an issue here
everywhere. Even after it rains, you're walking through ankle deep water in every parking lot.
It's so much you can do with flat land. So developers, engineers were smart and dug out giant lakes and put the dirt on the sides and put houses on top of the dirt. And that luckily gave us some great waterways to fish.
Oh, did it ever?
Yeah, sure did.
So, what else do we have in store for today? Like, we're headed south right now.
So right now we're on Florida's State Florida Turnpike south.
Oh, I thought we were in Cuba already.
We're close.
Like, we're way down there.
We're about 100 miles away, probably. But we're in South Miami right now. Just went to my bait shop, One Stop Marine. Give them a follow on Instagram. Yeah, my guys out there.
They give you a call.
Yeah,
got your bait waiting for you, Drew.
They're waiting for you to show up. And but it's an awesome shop. Mom and pop shop. Great time. They got everything you need in there. You got questions, they got answers. Friendly. Just a real convenient place. So we went there this morning. Picked up 10 dozen shrimp. Picked up some spool techs. Picked up some flare hawk jigs. Picked up the necessary tackle to go do some bridge hopping down here in the wonderful Florida Keys.
And I accidentally somehow walked away with a new pen reel. So,
oops, how did that happen?
Not accidentally. I didn't steal it.
We thought Stevie was going to have the issue. It was you, Catfish.
I was very restrained.
But no, I saw a pen there that I had to have. So it was an excellent price. So that guy was happy. We gave him a lot of business. I bought a reel from him.
It's always good to support local business, and I always advise people, find a local bait shop, and everyone that fishes, tell them about it, because a lot of people that like to fish, kind of secretive to themselves. At least down here they are, and they're afraid they're going to give out the next big secret. But support your local tackle shop, guys. It's a big deal.
Yeah. So we're headed to the Keys right now.
Yep, we headed down...
fishing off a pier-like bridge.
We're going to be, for everyone out there, I guess, Keys is a one-lane road, one in, one out. Water on both sides. You got Atlantic. So if you're going southbound, you got Atlantic on your left, you got Gulf on your right. And just water that you've never seen before. If you've been in the Bahamas and the Caribbean, you've seen water like it. But I'm talking water that I wouldn't even call it blue. I'd call it more green than blue.
Yeah.
But it's so clear to the fact you can see through it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the fish just are so much healthier down there. The fish are so much. They taste better. It's a wonderful place, man. I'd have to say that's the dream place to have a house down the Keys. Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited to keep going south here because back there a little ways there was literally a ball python on the side of the road that likes they actually like the heat and they love.
Yeah, they'll come out in the middle. They'll come out at night, especially.
It was wearing a sign that says "We'll work for cold water." I will squeeze somebody for ice. That's how hot it is down here.
Yeah,
that's one of the cool things about down here. Like we've caught so much, so many different species of fish, and also like all the different trees and that kind of stuff that you see.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Just on the way down here, so far I've seen 2 flocks of green parrots. Like
Yeah, wild parrots.
Yeah, wild parrots. It's the coolest thing. You never get to see anything.
Yeah, we
like
have
that
wild
before.
monkeys down here.
Wild monkeys.
Believe it or not. Well, they're wild now. They Hurricane Andrew came through and wrecked up a place called Parrot Jungle down here in Miami, and
Oh, okay.
the cages got knocked down.
I remember that.
Monkeys everywhere down that area.
Well, this is nuts down here. We were coming up on some rubbernecking coming up the road yesterday, and there was a guy. Paramedics or some people were there helping. The ambulance hadn't gotten there yet. They were putting this guy on a stretcher, and like out of the corner of my eye, I look across the road and start yelling. I'm like, dude, there's a Tennessee Panther right there. I think this guy got attacked by this big black cat. I'm fairly certain. But he was laying. There's all these people trying to help him. He's on a stretcher, but he did give like when you're getting carted off the football field, the thumbs up sign. And as you've seen, this really snickety looking, pissy looking
Black cat walk right across the road, right in front of him.
Yeah, right in front of him.
You'll if you ever hear rustling in the bush down in Florida, don't be afraid. It's an armadillo.
Yeah. That was the name of Phil's band back in high school when he was in high school, was Rustling in the
Bush. Down southwest Missouri.
Yeah, and there's no Missouri minnows here, by the way. There's signs on every bait shop door, no Missouri minnows.
None of that.
And Phil's from Missouri, so he's not allowed to fish with bait when he goes. He's artificial only. He's got to throw Kitex all day.
Yep.
So what are we going to catch down here?
That's a great question, man. I don't even know. We're going to be fishing with shrimp. Everything in the ocean eats shrimp. We're going to be chunking up some threaded herring, which I've learned through a couple people that seems to be the best bait for nice size snapper. They love some threaded herring. And that's just about it. We're going to be throwing some artificials, try to get some tarpon. Under these bridges, you'll see tarpon, stacked up in between the pilings, 5, 10 of them just sitting there in the current, waiting for bait to come by. They won't bite anything, and then all of a sudden, one time you float it by them, they'll smack it. So we just got to pray and do the best that we can do.
This is super exciting. This podcast is probably going to be a little choppy and go, like an ongoing little thing. Because
we still got a lot of trip left.
Still got a bunch of trip left.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll update you on what happens down here in the Keys, and we got, hopefully it works out. We got some characters.
We'll come home with dinner. We'll come home with dinner tonight.
If nothing else, we're coming home with shrimp for dinner.
But hopefully we got a couple characters that Andrew is going to introduce us to.
Yeah, so
hopefully
Friday we're going to go meet up with Mike Wilson down in Miami. Meet him up at F&F Bait and Tackle, another good local shop down here in Miami. Some of you guys might know him as Monster Mike. I know him as Crazy Midget Mike. For those who don't know, he's a relatively short fellow.
Just like Kyle Parkins.
Yes, and he's a good guy, man. He's been a good guy for me, good friend, good fisherman, great personality. So I'd like to see what we can do with him.
High energy, right?
Oh, extremely. He'll make any boring situation fun. We'll be catching bait for an hour, and he'll be off the wall, just happy as ever catching bait.
He's got a big YouTube and Instagram following.
Yeah, he does. Big YouTube too. Everyone go give him a subscribe on YouTube and a follow on Instagram. You won't regret it. He gives some good show.
Well, so this far, Andrew, I appreciate it, buddy. You've been amazing.
Yeah, man. It's a pleasure having you guys down, man.
We can't wait to see what's in
nothing
store.
else. I've been begging Will for the past couple of years, so finally he listened.
I only listened because Sean said that's where we're going.
I just saw a sign, Key West 1 mile.
Oh, we're in it. We're not in it technically, but we just got on. We got off the turnpike. We're not on highway no more. We're on A1A. We're
Beachfront Avenue.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, we're gonna get off here and get rolling.
To be continued.
We'll give you updates.
Check in later.
Guys,
All right.
Talk to you soon.
All right, guys, we're back. So we're going to recap the rest of our trip, and where we left off, I guess we jumped out of the truck
like 100 times.
Like 100 times.
At least.
No doubt.
And like we jumped out of the truck first of all. We went to the Florida Keys, and Andrew, what bridge was that?
We started off fishing Channel 2 Bridge, which is kind of the most southern part of Isla Morada.
Yeah. And if you've never seen the Florida Key waters, it is turquoise blue.
There's
amazing.
nothing like it.
No, you can't describe it, so we're not going to try.
It's like the Caribbean, if you've ever been to the Caribbean.
Yeah, it is. It looks like the sky literally runs into the water.
Yeah.
It's
Except with the Caribbean, a lot of times, like when I was there on the cruise, it was blue, and it was blue as far as you could see. Where down here, it was blue, and then there would be green.
Colors.
It was
turquoise green.
Beautiful, yeah.
So on the bridge, everybody here saw, but I saw a massive tarpon.
I was with you. First thing was that
we saw a giant sea turtle,
gigantic,
and a pow snook.
I didn't know about this turtle.
And we had no clue on this bridge that we were going to go through species after species after species after weird species.
Madness.
It was like every fish was a new species.
Sean, didn't I catch the first fish? It was a lionfish.
You caught a crazy lionfish.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Threw it in the trash.
Yeah, we had to because the DNR type people down here say that they eat everything and have no predators because they're poisonous.
Yep, exactly.
So I don't know if it's actually illegal, but they don't want you to throw them back in the water.
That's correct.
Hugely frown upon it.
Yeah, that's another.
They're like a saltwater snakehead, but tiny with peacock feathers hanging.
Nothing can eat them around here.
Mm-hmm. They're beautiful.
They
it's
are.
a shame it's such a.
And that was like a bucket list fish that you'd never
secretly
thought you would catch.
a secret.
A
secret
bucket list.
How would you target that from a pier? You know,
never expected to catch that in my life.
And to explain to you off this pier fishing is extremely windy. I could not tie braid to mono. I was having frustration problems. The first time ever, couldn't tie a knot. It was so windy. But it was nice because it was 2,042 degrees out. So the wind made it nice. But fishing off the pier was a little tough because the current was ripping. And so when you throw in, it would like drag your baits under the bridge. And it was extremely hard. I was throwing topwater at some of these snooks I saw. But by the time I cast it out in the wind, tried to get it in front of them, with the current dragging the bait, it was almost like playing golf backwards with left-handed clubs. It was very difficult. I was slicing, and it was going this way and going that way, and the snooks were like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, man. Like, I would eat that. I can see you up there, but you suck. It's like, at least give it to me nice.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it just didn't work out.
That was something like a guttural kind of like big buck on the edge of a field.
You could see him.
When you see this gigantic fish, it's not even like...
Yeah.
There's nothing like that when there's something massive chases your bait, your lure, your...
And you guys are using new techniques, too, so, I mean, that's...
We're learning. We're going to be... We may not be pros next summer, but the summer after that, I'm going to officially hashtag professional key fisherman 2 years from now.
Yeah, key guide.
Key guide. Well, that's the year after that.
Hey, I
buy the flats boat. Yeah.
My fish wasn't the first fish, and I can't remember which one of you two it was, but it was that beautiful, brilliant purple thing.
Oh, I caught the triggerfish.
Triggerfish. Yes, that was a beautiful.
Nice looking fish.
Yeah, who was the...
Stevie caught something like that big.
Who was the guy?
Strawberry grouper.
Strawberry grouper.
Yeah.
Who was the guy in Ace Ventura that had the fishing tank that had all the exotics?
Oh.
The billionaire guy?
Oh. I can't remember
When
his
you
name.
quoted the
You can't
whole
be bringing up Ace Ventura this much, dude. You're a grown man.
We talked about Ace Ventura the whole time we've been in Miami.
Well, we were down in the Keys, and like every fish was like a fish tank fish.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about the one you caught, because that thing was awesome, too.
Well, isn't the lionfish expensive? You could have sold that to some billionaire guy.
Oh, yeah, lionfish are
We could have
pretty
been rich.
pricey
You could
fish
have put that in the bait tank with all the shrimp, because they die quick. All right, that's an whole other podcast on how to keep shrimp alive, because we haven't mastered that yet either.
But they'll eat anything. Like it was, it was like Andrew was like, chill guys, I got you. That whole everything's dying. What's going on? The heat, the wind, the ammonia.
Our frozen bait literally was mush in minutes.
Our shrimp's heads are falling off. And but no, they'll eat anything.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like an issue. And in fact, I actually hooked up more on dead shrimp than I did.
Yeah, and you see that sometimes.
Yeah. That was just me personally. I was just like,
So real quick, there's probably maybe a dozen different species we caught. Sean, what did you catch?
Well, I just like our deeper episode. I mastered the crappie of the sea. I mastered the grunt fishing.
You caught the grunt.
Yeah, way too many.
You
of
caught
them.
a bunch of yellowtail snapper
Couple
too,
yellowtails.
right?
Sean looked at me and said, "I don't want to catch these anymore."
Yeah.
Is there anything else here?
I just kept casting into them, thinking maybe there's a big one in there, maybe there's something else in there, but no.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, when you're that.
Yep.
Speaking of species, we left that pier, that bridge, and we went to another bridge.
And experience completely different
And
fish.
different fish.
Different fish.
And Will caught
Oh yeah, that was where Will.
the crown unicorn of fish, which was vibrant blue colored fish.
That was like
unique.
What was that, Andrew?
Parrotfish.
The parrotfish.
That was like no editing on an Instagram picture. That was just brilliant.
I hashtagged it.
Yeah.
No filter needed. It was that brilliant.
it was great. I have nothing to compare.
I've heard
it to,
people
but it was
catching them.
just-
It's just one of those things that I've never caught.
It's wild looking.
Now, the blue one, and then there's another one.
Yeah, there's an all blue one, and then there's a one that
Looks like
actually looks like a parrot.
Yeah, it looks like a rainbow.
Yeah.
What'd you catch there? Down there at the end of that little concrete?
Caught a little mangrove snapper.
Mangrove
Nice little-
snapper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little mangrove snapper.
Yellow
Yeah.
snappers,
Yeah.
yellowtail snappers we got.
Yeah,
A couple
And
yellowtails up on the bridge.
What do you get?
What-
The big one.
that was
Mutton. Nice mutton.
Yeah, mutton snapper.
Okay, now
Yeah.
what
Good
was
nickname.
what was the one with the yellow and the black and the white stripe that we had to name ourselves because none of us knew what it was?
Oh, what did we name that? It was a good name.
Yeah, it
though.
was a
I
good
can't
name.
remember.
There's so much that happened. It's hard to remember it all.
Strawberry grouper. We caught a strawberry grouper. I just can't. There were so many different.
But off this bridge,
Yeah.
Stevie had
That tarpon.
the
follow-up.
mecca
Yeah.
of all fish chasing his bait.
My heart almost stopped. Like
I
it's
didn't
just-
see you blink for an hour.
It was, and I would still be there right now throwing that bucktail as far as I could if you guys hadn't.
That thing was a tank. It wasn't no small.
Yeah, I think it would have dragged Stevie in.
But I could. The crazy thing was I could see it. I was casting as far as I could with the wind,
Yeah.
and I could still see it. And it could have been 10 feet underwater.
Yeah.
But you could. That's how
Still see
clear the
that
water
shadow.
was. You
Yeah.
could still see it. I could see the bucktail. I could still see the fish.
He never took it, though.
He never took it.
What was I whipping that I had the big one? The
Spoltec.
A Spoltec. So I
Yeah.
never seen that before. It's a
Concealed steel leader lure.
One of
Or
my
swim
new
bait,
favorite
I should
lures.
say. Yeah,
I
it's
bought
an
2 of
awesome.
them.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Do you have to have a permit for that concealed?
Yeah.
No,
Keep
They're
it
pretty
over
dead. They
the
are pretty
counter.
deadly.
they are deadly. They have a nice wobble in the water.
Oh, man.
They outperform live bait a lot of the
They
time.
swim for themselves in that current.
Yep, they do.
That was really
That's
good.
That's
true.
what I liked.
Yeah.
It's just like it
And-
looked
and
like
we-
it was going against the current. So it
Yeah,
looked like
and
it would come towards me. I was
Yeah.
like, how you
We
doing?
all had an experience with a big fish there because I had a large snook follow my Spoltec one
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
And you had that 5 or 6 foot tarpon.
I had a different tarpon
Yeah.
chasing my Spoltec.
Yeah.
No,
I
I was
saw that
throwing a
one.
Kitech.
Yeah.
I was throwing a Kitech. He chased a white 4-inch Kitech around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
It's insane.
I had one major experience, and it was like very quick. It did nothing.
Oh, the thud.
I had nothing, nothing to show for it. It left me empty inside. But whatever took my rod, it was a little bit deep, so
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Never saw it.
Never saw it. It just yanked it straight down and just went.
Almost.
And
If you
snapped.
would have not had a hold of your rod, it probably took it.
Oh, it just went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't make a noise.
Right after that,
That was
happened,
on the Spoltec.
No,
Or that was on a shrimp on
it
the
was
bottom.
a shrimp. Yeah, It was
Yeah.
it just yanked it
Thud.
straight down.
Yeah.
And as quick as it was there, I don't like the drag
gone.
or whatever. I don't know. It just was like snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there
And right after
Probably
that
big
happened,
grouper.
yeah, right after that happened, the look on your face was Like, I looked at you and you were literally like, what?
Utter
What
sadness.
just happened? He's like, I walked over and he's like,
You're catching
I got thumped. Like, he's like, dude, something, I don't know what
fish
happened.
after fish. That
The tug
fit-
is the drug.
Yeah, absolutely. Fish after fish that fit in the palm of your hand, every time. And then all of a sudden, wham,
They're down there.
I honestly, if it was my opinion, I thought it was a giant squid. It could have been. Like the big ones you
Like
see on
the
the Discovery.
Humboldt squid.
Yeah, the 40-footers on Discovery.
I thought I saw something.
If you'd have
big
hooked that,
squidding
we would have
around
had
out
to
there.
put 4 rods on it. Like,
And, like reel
just like
them all
we do with bow
simultaneously.
fishing, just keep getting it. Yeah.
It was probably a megalodon.
It might have been.
Shark.
Could have been.
Yeah.
I thought I saw
Yeah, a
like
juvenile.
20-yard profile.
A juvenile, like a
Juvenile.
30-footer.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not many things that can pull the rod out of your hand in half a second.
Yeah.
It was.
If the bridge pylon wouldn't have been there, like the railing, you probably would have lost it.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Well, you know
I'm
what that
glad
bump
you're
feels
okay,
like on the
bud.
beach. You got
I
that
do.
bump?
Yep. So we left this bridge and we drove back in and we stopped at a pro fly shop only for Sean,
Yep.
which was right across the street in the Keys from a small but nice Bass Pro Shop
Yeah.
That was
in
neat,
the
wasn't it?
Keys.
World.
Yeah. Worldwide Sportsman.
Worldwide
Yep.
Sportsman.
Yeah.
Really cool fly shop.
Isla Mirada Fish Company restaurant
Yeah,
there,
that
too.
was a nice fly shop. It was an Orvis dealership.
Yeah.
And all Orvis dealerships are really always nice, high end stuff. But there was lots of nice things in that store.
There was a lot of nice
Very
things in that
nice.
store. One of the I saw something nice in that store that I would like to have. It was actually on sale for like $5.95, but I have not yet got myself to buy a fly rod. So, but then I did talk to this girl at the counter that was running the place, and I told her, I said, listen, we were beat up after this hot day of fishing in the Keys. Like,
Sweaty, stinky.
It was hot. And I asked this girl, it's like, so within 30 minutes of here, because what was it, like 2 hours away, hour and a half away?
From the next spot.
No, from home.
From
back.
home, yeah. We were about
So-
with traffic and
So
everything.
I asked this girl, I said, listen, where's the best hamburger within 30 minutes of here? She said, oh, honey,
You're
that's
gonna love
easy.
me.
You're going to love me. It's right up the road. The restaurant's called Meat. And I was like, nah, you're joking. She's like, no, really. It sign says Meat. I went,
Yeah.
well, you're talking to the right guys. I mean, like,
Let's get it.
yeah, no vegetarians in this group.
Yes, sir.
So before we get to our epic lunch, we stopped at Bass Pro.
She's like, I don't eat a lot of meat, so.
Yeah. And the Bass Pro tank, live tank, me and
Yeah.
Sean walked over to was not like our tank in Harrisburg.
Stevie's like, grow up.
I said,
I finally got to see up close and personal in the tank the snook.
Yeah.
Sean told me what the bull red finally got to see one in person.
That was number 5.
Yeah, the 5th one. Yeah, we were talking about the top.
They had the big 5. It was,
Yeah, the big 5 in Africa that you go hunt.
Yeah.
Florida has the big 5 here,
Yes.
which is the bull red, the snook, the
tarpon,
tarpon,
permit,
permit,
and bonefish.
and bonefish. And they were all in this tank.
Yeah.
So it was very cool to see the top 5 in this tank. And small Bass Pro Shop, but amazing.
Yeah.
It was a quick pit stop. However, outside of Bass Pro Shop was my favorite.
that was so
That
cool.
was
for you
cool.
guys.
Yeah, so it was a nice marina, right?
Yeah.
It was a nice marina, and there some guy,
Captain just came in.
Yeah.
Captain, come in, yeah, and
Nice load of mahi,
Yeah.
couple triple tails.
Andrew's like, they're flaying mahi down there if you want to check it out. I walked down on the pier, and he's flaying mahi right on the pier, and he's throwing the scraps in the water. I'm going, what's this? Explosions.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs in the water.
Yeah.
Baby megalodons of the babies were in the water.
Yeah.
There was a tarpon in that water, I know, 6 feet?
And
I
yeah,
want to say
6.
7, 6.
Yeah, every
You
bit.
could have put a saddle on that and rode it.
Tarpon riders.
Sharks everywhere. They were eating the
Stevie's nickname.
scraps. Yeah.
I've ridden plenty, and those would have been tough to
Back in the
stay
day.
on.
They would have bucked you off
It
in
would have
8
bucked me
seconds.
off.
Do you believe
Pretty
how big
quick.
that tarpon was?
It's
Though? Being
huge.
Oh,
right
yeah.
there 4 feet
Easy
from
100.
you.
Couple easy hundreds
Yeah.
in front of us.
Easy, honey.
And there was what? There was 15, 20 tarpon there.
Oh,
easy.
yeah.
And this tarpon just, he mastodon everything.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
can ride.
A lot of gummies there, too. Nurse sharks.
Yeah, and there's probably 10 of them
Right.
at least.
Those sharks were all over.
Yeah.
They were just as quick as the tarpon.
They seem friendly.
But
though.
nothing exploded the water like the tarpon.
You
my
got
God.
showered, didn't
We
you?
got
Yeah, we got
drenched.
showered.
World Shamu
Yeah,
shower.
that's what he did.
Yeah.
He swept that 80-pound tail. And
If you want to know what we're talking about, go to our Facebook page and start scrolling. We have the live feed of that, and we get the camera soaked in it. I was filming it with my cell phone.
that's when I was feeding the shark.
Yeah,
Yeah, with the whole carcass.
yeah. You were
I got you.
trying to hand feed a shark, and you got him to come up and nibble on it.
Yeah, they like soft mouth it.
Yeah.
They
They
were
don't,
being
they don't
nice.
really have that much of a mouth, kind of.
They were like carp.
They're like
It's a carp shark.
They like to nurse it.
What is it? Was that what it was? A
It's
nurse
not
shark?
just a clever name.
They're known as one of the friendlier sharks in the.
Well, if I ever tell this story later down the road and I put a little Sammy P on it, it's going to be 4 hours long. It's going to be 3 Makos and a bowl. And I lost a pinky. You guys drove me back to Miami. They sewed it back on before we came home. Almost missed our flight.
Story short.
It's
Long
the Phil
story
Buckman of
short.
sharks.
It's old Uncle Buck Shark.
Yeah, it's the nurse shark.
They were cool. They were
was
trying to
cool.
eat the thing, and I had to tear it apart and hand feed them like a little bird. Here, take a little piece.
So after we had our feeding experience,
That was
then we
fun.
had our feeding experience at meat.
At meat.
At meat.
Yes.
And I have to say, I am a humongous fan. Anytime I find smoked wings,
Yeah.
I'm all over it, and they were delicious.
You got smoked
I
wings?
had smoked wings.
I read the menu, and they say this girl told us the best burger.
in the
sign
state
says
of Florida.
best burger, and the food was great. But when I read the sign, I smoked meatloaf sub
With barbecue mango sauce.
with and caramelized onions, and I went. No, yes. There's nothing else here that is like sticking out on the sign except for a barbecue
said it was-
meatloaf sandwich.
Yeah, they said it was great, like the top 110 in the United States, number
Yeah.
1 in Florida. What a
Yeah, they had a couple burgers they probably put in the contest.
bunch of winners. Yeah,
Well, and Guy whatever his
Friari,
name
whatever,
is,
yeah.
from Diners, Dive-Ins, and Drives was there, and the wings that I had, he ate on the show. That was
Yeah.
another reason.
he ate your wings.
He didn't eat my wings. He ate the wings.
Well,
I was gonna say.
Nice of
Will
you to
was
share.
hungry.
Nice guy.
Oh God,
Will was hungry and had no clue that meat meant you get some meat when you
Yeah.
order, because he ordered
No, I just wanted
The
like
world,
just
the
give me a
girth of
burger and a
girth.
hot
Biggest.
dog.
burger and a hot dog.
He
Yeah,
wanted a hamburger and a hot dog. He didn't know it was bigger than the inlays,
If you
foot long.
took, if you
Freedom.
took like a whole pack of
It was a girth
Kunstler
dog.
hot dogs and
I
smushed
wish
them
you
into
could
one.
see Will's hand motion right now.
this hot dog was literally
like a pop can.
it was
baseball bat.
big as round as a pop can, and it was every bit of 20 inches long. She sat it on the table, and it stuck out of both ends off the table.
Oh, that was easily a 12-inch roll, and it was out a couple inches on both ends.
But
Once
what were you
again, the look
thinking?
on Will's face.
He's like, did I
I've
order
seen
that?
so many great looks on Will's face this week. First peacock, 20-inch hot dog, hand feeding sharks,
Mega peacock.
mega peacock, almost losing his rod.
I was a little embarrassed for you.
No, and she never even gave me a heads up. You know, I mean, she just
Well,
was
you
like,
should have
did not
known.
warn
It
you.
She
said,
could have looked at you and go, "Bud, you can't eat all that."
in fact, no, in fact, she's like,
How many fries you want with
how
that?
many fries do you want? And I'm like, I don't want any fries. I just want a burger and a dog. I'll be good.
How are
Yeah.
you not going to have fries?
You know, and I'm like, I don't want fries.
She was stunned.
Yeah, and she was like,
What
well,
are you talking about?
It comes with it. No, I get it. I just don't want it. And then I'm like, I turn around and look at you guys, and she's like, do any of you guys want to nibble on his fries? And I'm like, that's weird. Why would you say it like that? Stop. You know, I don't.
Great.
Well, I ordered wings, and she's like, and I said, I'd like some fries too. Oh, you don't have to order fries. He don't want.
He
these.
already
You can just
got
have
fries.
his.
This place
What?
cooks.
What did I do to her?
This place cooks all their fries though in duck grease.
Duck
fat.
Yeah.
All right, I'm right. Duck fat.
Duck confit.
the confit.
It gave them a something
Sounds
special.
delicious.
They were pretty good.
Yeah, they were
I
good.
didn't know they did
like
that.
But my sandwich was, listen, back home. Actually, let's edit this out because the smoked meatloaf mango barbecue caramelized onion sandwich.
Yeah.
I actually came up with that idea. I'm sorry.
You did?
I forgot
What?
to tell you that. I called down here ahead of time and told Guy all about it. So when we get home,
But that was
it'll
nice
be the
of
Uncle
you.
Catfish Meatloaf Slammer. It was good.
I like that
I'll-
name better.
I'll add jalapeno poppers on top and twist to
I'll
it.
take 2 Uncle Catfish
It comes
meatloaf
with-
slammers.
Oh, man, they
It
were-
comes
was
with
good.
jalapeno
No
poppers.
fries.
You don't
And I
want jalapeno poppers?
Yeah, and I had a bunch of firsts down here. Me and Andrew split a smoked fish dip
Yes.
that was made out of.
You guys split a lot of food. I think
Flanagan's was kingfish, and then I don't know what the fish
Who
was.
cares?
made out
It
of
was
meat.
awesome.
Yeah.
The fish dip down here. We don't have that back home.
Mm-mm.
It's like crab dip, but
yeah,
but
it's fish, right?
it's just big chunks of fish with all kinds of stuff.
It's just a good smoke flavor.
Oh man, it's
So, like,
phenomenal.
we go out to eat all the time. Everybody gets their own stuff, and and Uncle
shows.
Catfish gets his mound of food and this and that. Like most of the week, you guys are pretty much feeding each other.
Okay,
You gotta taste this, bro.
let's step back real quick. We're gonna jump right in because we're talking about the meat restaurant and food. Every morning, Andrew spoils us with Cuban breakfast.
Right.
And there's these things that, before I tell you what they're called, because I don't remember, but they look like they look
Coqueta.
just like a cheese stick, but there ain't no cheese in them.
Like a mozzarella.
It's just
It's like pureed ham heaven.
like I think they just blend tech a pig.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And put like paprika
And then-
and hot peppers in it or
Then
something.
you deep fry it.
It's kind of like
It's a croqueta.
half-processed
For all
hot
those
dog.
is it?
A croqueta for all those who are listening.
Croquetas are a must. Figure it out, Pennsylvania. Go to Cuba and get the stuff because I want it every day.
I don't know that he
I-
hasn't flown in from Cuba every day.
And you know me, I'm
fresh.
very polite. I never pick up the last of anything at the table. I don't.
But
I
you
don't.
definitely took the last of the fish dip in
Dude,
the last croqueta.
when people were handing the bags around in the truck of those croquetas all morning, I'm like, dude, I'm taking 4. And then like it's sitting there, and I look in it, and there's one left. Dude, I'll rip the bag out of
I
someone's
went to
hand.
grab it and
Yeah.
you throat
I ate the
punched
last. I ate the last of the fish dip twice.
So I kind of was telling Leanna this tonight. Like I don't know if it's because we had large gaps of time of just balls all out fishing,
Yeah.
not getting to food.
Well, we ate lunch every night at 5, 6 o'clock, pushing that hard.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fisherman's lunch.
Yeah.
But the food was spectacular in this
Everything I
on
ate
this
down
trip.
here, yeah.
And it just, I think it was because we were a bit famished, maybe a tad dehydrated.
You boys don't drink enough water for down here.
I've had
I started a little bit, but I'm not going to say I drink enough.
I've had on average 8 monsters a day. On average, I had 2 this morning before we left the hotel.
Yeah, I was slamming Diet Pepsi all week long.
People don't understand how hot it is here.
Unless you live in it.
Yeah.
It says 98 in the truck,
Yeah.
which means outside, but it's 132 in the truck. Whenever it's me, Stevie, and Sean in the back seat,
snuggled in there.
and the truck's got lots of room, and the air is beautiful in the front seats, and in the back you get 10% of it. And so for the first, and that's the thing, we jump in the truck, and we run from this spot. Three like city block type down and make a right, and we pull over again. The air had no time.
It was still warm.
It was still warm in the
Still
truck.
blowing
So I'm
warm
in
air.
the back, and I had 2 thermoses. I was double fisting thermoses, like Monster, Orange Monster, Green Monster, Ice, and I like get out of the truck, and I was like, oh man, the pond's like, okay, so the pipe we're fishing at's like 30 yards away. Okay, I'll just take my thermos because I know 5 seconds after I get there I want to drink because I left it in the truck like 3 times and I'm like, dude, I got to walk 30 yards back to get my thermos. It was hot down here. It's brutal. My white legs that are normally white are red.
Okay, now while we're talking about sunburns, I want everybody to look at Catfish and look at his face and tell me, turn sideways a little bit, tell me he doesn't look like our president right now.
Oh, I got the Trump face going on.
Yeah.
Can you tell I had a pair of sunglasses on in the
Sunglass
keys?
tan.
And it's funny because I'm burnt and my forehead's white. So it's gonna look great. But anyhow, let's jump back at it. So we left Bass Pro. We fed some sharks. We saw the tarpon.
Went to meet.
And then we headed back to town. And most people would come back and chill.
That'd be it for the day.
Like let's chill, take a break. No, we go back to fishing.
Surf fishing.
Pompano
Surf
Beach.
fish. Listen, Pompano Beach.
Pompano Beach, yeah.
Pompano Beach was
Beautiful. Beautiful beach.
The beach was beautiful. The moon phase was right for fishing. We met some really cool friends of Andrew.
Yeah, really cool.
We got out of the truck. We got all this stuff together. It was a short, quick walk down there. I have learned, so I could do a whole podcast of things I've learned from different knots I've tied to croquetas to I could do a whole podcast of things I learned. One of the things I've learned from Pompano Beach is I am incredibly out of shape. For the people that live in Florida.
Yeah.
There was people jogging on the beach that look like machines. Like, I don't know if they don't eat croquetas, but they literally...
Or at least 10 of them.
They won.
Like, they ate one in 1980, and then they just kept running.
I think that while they're running, they just put it between their lip and gum and then just kind of...
Spit it out when they're done.
It's amazing. We have these people that are... Even Andrew's friends are in immaculate shape.
Oh, yeah.
But we have these people in Florida that are running around, fitness nuts, people on the beach, and then we have... 4 rednecks cutting bait up, cutting
digging
bait
up sand fleas,
digging up sand fleas, throwing.
I don't like to fish with dudes with abs. I think it's bad luck.
Yeah,
that's why we didn't catch anything at Pompano Beach.
You know, my favorite
I blame
part of that,
all the 6-packs.
My favorite part of that trip was whenever the one brother couldn't cast far enough, so he made his other brother swim the shark bait.
I know it.
Yeah,
he's got this giant piece of cut bait, bonita, and he's like, hey. Swim my bait out there. So he's swimming in what we're fishing for sharks. And he's swimming in shark-infested water.
All right, you have snapper carcasses out, chumming it up.
Giant piece of bait laying on his chest as he's backstroking.
Like an otter.
He's yelling to the shore. He's like is this far enough?
Keep going.
And then he air chucks it over his head.
Yeah, sky hooks.
He sky hooks it. That was great.
Yeah.
You know the most interesting thing about the Florida beach where we was at is there's no sandbar. Like I fished in the Carolinas a lot, and there's at least 1 or 2 sandbars beyond the lip of the beach, and there's not. I mean the waves wash up to the lip, and there's a steep drop off, and that's it. There's no other.
Well, with beach fishing underneath that water, which you weren't seeing, is there's troughs. Obviously, you know what troughs are.
Yeah.
Breaks in the water. And generally in Florida, you have 2 of them. You have one closer to the beach and one a little bit further. And it's basically just a canal system for the fish to go through.
That's where they're hunting back and forth with the beach.
They're just going up and down the beach, trying to find the bait. And the snook, for instance, what we were going for, they're in that first trough.
Right. And a lot like Will's experience, you said earlier, you looked over at me and said, you had something similar. I did. I threw a couple different baits, and it was
on the 9-inch spool tech.
The spool tech I was throwing out, and I threw it like 100 times. Mm-hmm. But at one point,
it takes that much.
It does, but at one point, like you get used to. Okay, I'm going to throw this out and reel it in. You're going to throw this out and reel it in, and there's nothing.
It's like a hypnotist almost.
Yeah, there's nothing out there. It's not like bass fishing where I got snagged on a log or I caught a lily pad. There's nothing to get caught on. So if you get thumped, it was something out there that thumped you. So I threw it out. It wasn't in the water, maybe along 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and I think I may have had 2, maybe 3 full reels of the rod cranked. So I moved it maybe a foot, and not once but twice in a second. I mean, it was like bang, and the second one was even harder. It was just thump, thump, and I went, and I set the hook and nothing. I mean, I was out of that hypnotism. I shocked, going, did that just happen? But then I'm like, I don't know how to fish for snook. My brain went into 1,000 thoughts at once, going, okay, do I reel fast?
Yeah.
No, but like the follow up, like is he coming back? Do I reel fast? Do I burn it? Do I reel slow? Do I let it sink and like he injured it and kind of jig it off the bottom? What do I do? So I was like, oh, they're predators, real fast. So I just start burning it and I'm reeling as fast as I can, and I'm going, and I stand on the beach with it when it came back to me, going, man, I should have let it sink. Like, you second guess yourself. But those 2 thumps, whatever it was heavy. I felt the weight. So, and it sucks because, like, Will, I didn't see anything. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was heavy. Yeah. But that was a lot of fun. Being on the beach. Yep. We come to Florida, we could not go to the beach.
No, definitely.
Right.
And the guys were super cool. Your friends were cool.
Awesome. Anthony Coletti.
Anthony was like, Catfish, you want a beer? You know, like let's chill and talk. And that dude's a super workaholic.
Oh, he's a hustler, man.
Yeah.
He hustles.
He doesn't have time to eat croquetas. From my short conversation with him, he works all day. He fishes every night. He goes home, works more, and that guy was super cool.
Yep. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's like really the only time of this whole trip we had such a great time and didn't actually catch anything.
Yeah.
But that's beach fishing.
Yep.
You know, that's a hit or miss. And he literally gave me like a 2-inch. Some kind. It almost looked like a gulp swim bait. Too.
It was a gulp.
Was it a gulp?
It
Yeah, a
was
little
a gulp.
white gulp, like swimming mullet-looking thing, but with a different paddle tail on it.
I think it was a sardine.
Yeah, and he's like, throw it right here. He's like, right there. I caught a 30-pound snook right there the other night on this, and I'm looking at it going, on this? Like my crappies would eat this. Like it's really little.
Yeah,
dude, I chucked that thing out there 100 times with high hopes.
Yeah,
and my hopes. It was such a beautiful night from the first cast to the last cast. I never lost hope. We just ran out of time.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
And they're night feeders, but
you know, if we had more sunlight, we'd be out there longer.
Absolutely. And we knew we left way into the dark, and we knew that we had to yet get up very early next morning to go fishing. So we did call it quits on the beach.
Yeah.
After the beach.
I was just going to say, like, I think, you know, the next day we got back after it with Monster Mike.
Oh, yeah, that was the Monster Mike morning.
Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Mike Wilson. And we did a little podcast with him, so we won't go into all the details of the trip, you know, but just, again, you know.
Another different experience.
Yep.
We're in Miami, South Miami-Dade County. Looks completely different than Broward County where we were fishing. Different waterways even. Dirtier canals, shallower canals.
Bigger highways we were fishing by.
Smaller turtles. I saw big turtles in your area.
Mm-hmm.
Smaller turtles there.
Yeah.
But
more ducks.
I can only say one thing about this day. You have to go listen to that podcast. At this point in this podcast, go listen to that one to hear all about that day. Yeah. But I will say that we say epic a lot. That day was epic.
Yeah,
it was.
That was an epic day. To sum that day up,
it started epic and it finished epic.
Yeah.
I mean, so he's most of us, you know, most of us started to get into our biggest fish.
Yeah,
our personal bests.
Yeah, towards the end of the trip.
Once again, with Monster Mike, Will had an all-new first-time look on his face yet again in this trip.
First fish.
With the tank of all tanks.
Stud peacock.
I mean, it went from 0-0 going on to 100 miles an hour to, I mean, pretty much a trapeze artist, Monster Mike, like slamming his body off the rocks in the water to wrestle this pig in. And I'll show it to you. I got it on the GoPro. I'm like, dude, you all right? It's a monster. Get it. Who cares about my rib cage? Like, he's not even busted up. So, go listen to that episode.
One thing we didn't say on that episode, one thing that I noticed different, I saw lots of Midas down there. Didn't see any Midas up here.
Yeah,
what's a Midas? I'm sorry. Tell
that's
me what
the
a Midas
big
is.
goldfish color.
Okay, yeah, I saw those, yeah.
And I did see Oscars down there that I didn't. I saw one Oscar down there.
Our Oscars, I've seen them. They're over closer to the coast is when I've seen them. In a more brackish water, to be honest, than fresh water.
So
I
a
don't
couple
know why.
different fish. That was
I've
one
seen
of the
them
big
a few times. Where we found the GoPro, I saw goldfish-looking things.
Yeah,
Probably Midas,
there was a
Okay.
Midas there. Yep,
Yeah.
where I was.
They were introduced the same time as the peacocks were.
Yeah.
FWC introduced them.
For our listeners back home, our brothers of PA, one of the things I really want to point out to, while we're just touching base on our Monster Mike Day, if you would come down and book a trip and fish with Monster Mike down here in Miami, back home we have, walleyes, largemouth, smallmouth, depending on if you're hitting lakes and rivers, crappies. Obviously your catfish is number one to me, but a handful of others I could mention. If you come to Miami, your chances of catching an array of rainbow-looking big from 100-pound tarpon down to, jullets.
Yeah.
It's so diverse. There's so much cool stuff to catch that no trip might be the same.
No.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing about that. When we were looking into coming down here, we were all keyed on peacocks.
Yeah.
And that was like all we were really thinking about. In my mind, I had Oscars multiple times. I wanted to catch an Oscar. I saw one, so I was happy, but I didn't get to catch one. But those your Pikachus.
The Mayan cichlings.
The Mayan cichlids. They were so cool and so beautiful.
Get that wrong every time.
And I never even knew they existed down here.
Dude, they're so strong.
Yeah, pound for pound, I would almost say pound for pound, better fighter than a peacock bass.
Yeah,
I think
they definitely have that head shake to them.
Yeah.
Peacocks have the run, the cichlids have the run, and the head shake.
Yeah,
The tip of the rod does go crazy.
Oh yeah, you're feeling them the whole way.
I was just shocked that there's no publicity or whatever on that fish, and it was such a fighter, and
it's very underutilized as a
sport fish.
I want to say it's almost like a pit bull on the end of your line. It's just mad.
So,
oh yeah,
it's mad.
Can we go around kind of highlighting, like the last couple of days, because we just got after it with the peas and the jaguars and different let's just go around and pick out your best, top couple fish.
Yeah.
Peacock's mine. We came down to catch peacocks. I was focused on that, and I have to say that the Island Sickling thing was the biggest surprise to me that I would love in the most beautiful fish that I caught.
Yeah.
And I caught a pretty big one, I guess, of that species.
Yeah.
But to me, when I caught, actually today, I got my personal best today.
Yes.
And when I caught that big female that was paired up with Sean's big male, when we caught the 5.5 pound and the 6+ pounder, like within seconds of each other, I think that was my key moment where that was my key moment for me where I was like, this is what I came to do.
Yeah.
And I saw everybody else get really big ones, and I've caught lots of them, and I just didn't think it was going to happen to get a 5+ pounder. But when I finally did it, the look on Andrew's face, guiding me out there, and as my new brother, he was literally... The look on your face,
I know it happened.
You were as happy for me as I was happy.
I know it happened.
Dude, it was sweet, man. I had that feeling like the first time that I saw a deer come up to me in archery, and I haven't got a buck yet. I was literally, when I was reeling him in, I knew he was big, and I was going, my heart was racing, and I was dragging him through, I horsed him.
Yeah.
You know how... But they're always, don't horse them.
Yeah.
Dude, at the last minute, I was like running up the bank, straight lining it, to drag him up in the grass. Yeah. And I drug him so hard right past me. I drug him actually past me, like diving on him. So that was that's my favorite thing so far.
And I think to your credit, or, right or wrong, whatever, you went after the fish the way you wanted to fish. And you didn't fish with local conventional knowledge. You went after them every way possible that you...
I tried to experiment. I didn't catch as many fish as you guys.
Yeah.
But I was experimenting,
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said. And you ended up getting your fish. You ended up getting, just a dream fish.
I spent a lot of time behind the GoPro, and which was fun for me. I mean, I love trying to get... Because it's so new to me, it's so exciting to watch you guys catch your fish. I really tried to capture all of it all for everybody. But when I did have moments where I kind of went off by myself, it was top water and what was those things? Vienna sausages. I was trying to fish with gummy bears. So it was fun. We were fishing in a drainage pipe. Through the gutter.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
We tried a bunch of things. And
frogs in trees.
And actually, you're right. I don't find 1 second of any of that like wasted time. Like I could have caught more fish.
Yeah,
right.
My week to me down here couldn't have been any better.
I
turn the temperature down 10 degrees, it would have been 100% perfect.
Yeah. I think the biggest moment, like for your style of fishing, was that one massive roll that you got.
The thump
on that point. No, the first day
on the top water.
On the
he smashed it, but didn't hook up.
Yeah,
you were freaking because you whipped it probably 50 times at that one spot.
Yeah.
So, but
whatever that was big.
That was big.
That was a big largemouth, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that Tarbin splash.
It's crazy because in this spot Will's talking about, the first night I was there, I caught a peacock. The first night I was there, I had that giant bass. I'm sure it was a bass, maybe. We'll call it a tarpon down the road. Smashed the topwater bait, which got me stoked, which I threw it the rest of the week then. And then today, I had a tarpon take one of my... in the same spot. I mean, literally the same spot. 20 yards, 30 yards away. A tarpon and snook sitting there. And then I caught my biggest peacock 20 yards from there. So, I mean, like, within 40 yards, I saw all these species.
That was your lake, man.
That's where I caught the Mayan Pikachu thing.
Yeah.
So, that's my new spot. What's that spot called?
The secret spot.
The secret spot. Well, can we give it a nickname?
It's Catfish Cove.
It's Catfish Cove now. That's my favorite
Not
spot.
sure there's any catfish in it, but there's Catfish Cove. Yeah.
Yes. So, but to end up where my favorite thing is, I have to say, if we come back down, I will refocus my sights off peacocks, have fun catching them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to refocus my sights not on snook or tarpon, like, because they're down the road for me. But I want to go after the Amazon red-tailed catfish. That thing looks pretty
like Shamu. It looks like Shamu.
It does.
Yeah. Shamu
I'll do you a
with red on
favor.
it.
I'll release one in the lake. I'll get a lake and release one. We'll get them big.
That'd be awesome.
We'll knock that out real quick.
Yeah.
Sean had an epic day.
Yeah.
You know, you nailed out your fly fishing.
Yeah, that was my two biggest moments. One, I mean, had to be today, catching that one after catfish. I'm not really even positive that I've ever caught a largemouth 5 pounds. And I caught a 6 pound today.
Oh, the thing was massive.
Yeah, it was.
I couldn't put my hands
22.
around it, and I have big hands. Like my fingers would not get anywhere close to.
It was a donkey.
Yeah, and just
You caught a
beautiful
donkey, bud.
bright color. It was awesome.
Fluorescent yellow.
Fluorescent
orange donkey.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that was one of the things before. Sure, I wanted to catch a big hog. Everybody wants to catch the big hog, but I had caught so many fish, and just the difference of the patterns and everything. I just so enjoyed it, and I told him even before I caught that, like, my week's complete. I had a blast down here. I was totally happy.
It's crazy you said that. Will said that the first night.
Yeah.
I mean, our first night we were here, we did so good. Will's like, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
I had a goal, and I was going to press hard all week to get it, and it's over. Like, I almost feel like,
Yeah.
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 like I thought it was going to be harder than this.
And I don't want to get into meat too quickly, but
Yeah, I had one other moment, and Catfish was filming me, and it was when I got my first peacock on the fly.
Yeah.
And Catfish, after we were done, Catfish says, I've seen you catch a ton of fish, and I've never seen you get that excited about
Dude,
catching a fish.
you could see it.
Oh, yeah.
You could see. I don't know how to explain it unless
Yeah.
you were standing there, but it was.
it's worth the price of admission.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, I have definitely caught a ton of fish in my life, and when I hooked that, I was pumped. I catch 42, 46-inch salmon
Yeah.
and don't care.
Yeah.
I
Well,
did.
and that's why I was saying, like, that's why I spent a bunch of time
Yeah.
with the camera, because at any second I knew it could happen.
Yeah.
So, those moments, like,
Yeah.
I had to catch that, and
Yeah.
and there was other moments we didn't catch. There was a
Yeah.
few things I didn't catch. I didn't catch your first gar, Stevie's first gar, but to catch that one on film
Yeah, that
was pretty cool.
awesome.
I was in a little bit of disbelief. I know when later in the day or whatever, when the shiners started to, not be as animated or even alive, I just didn't think they were going to react to flies. I just, in my head, it was, I mean, even trying to animate that minnow, it was really hard. You're really just twitching, doing little tricks and whatever to make that work. But it really says something about the fly fisherman.
It does.
It turns heads.
I got one with Monster Mike, and I missed one 10 times.
You whiffed
on the live video,
like 5 times, 10 times, and it was just, it just kept coming after it.
Yeah.
And
They're aggressive,
maybe it was the right fish, or maybe whatever. But it was
Predator. It was.
You tried a couple different flies to get this thing, and
That was up on the bridge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Finally,
When I was fighting with the ducks.
ripped it around a couple times, and it was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
But you were so close to nailing it, But the other thing is that you can sight fish, and you can see this
sight fishing's
happening.
awesome.
You can see everything.
You can read what the fish is doing if you know what you're looking at.
Yeah, you can play. It plays out for whatever, a minute to 5 seconds. That slow approach, and you you can see it. The fish is turning or going away. And anyway, so that was very impressive, and for you to, do that for us and for you and around us, I was really impressed.
I was stoked for you to get Yeah. It was cool to see you do your own thing.
Yep.
And I know what that's like, because I'd love to experiment, do my own thing. Yeah. So to see you come down and do it, like when there's a whole 10 dozen live shiners that you could catch them on, but yet you still want to do it with the fly.
That's the other thing with both of you guys. As soon as you catch one, Stevie hears the splashing and runs over and throws into the hole where you just caught one. Like,
that may have happened once.
I don't know how.
All week.
Once every time we got out of the truck.
Like, everyone's ripping fish out, and you guys are working it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to... And you had plenty of success. I'm not saying that. Like, you had plenty of success, but, like, it's really hard when something is just killing it, and you ignore it, and you keep after it. And that's...
It's a sense of accomplishment too.
Totally impressed.
And it's like throwing big swim baits for bass. It's just a sense of
and honestly, it was right down to the last minute. Like I threw topwater all week. I stayed out till 2:00 in the morning, walking around the golf course here, throwing topwater in the middle of the night, getting up early, going to ponds before we'd go fishing. I wanted something on topwater, and then right at the last minute tonight, I had a gar of all things grab my topwater bait, and just enough to go. All right, well, I got something on topwater. Yeah. So I'd had my accomplishment, but it was in the last hour.
Yeah. Steve-O?
Yeah.
Did you?
What's your best memory?
Did you catch anything?
What's your best moment? You had a couple.
No, there. This may sound, I don't know, cliche, I guess, but there really wasn't a best moment. Like the whole trip just happening. We started planning this in, I think February of this year, and and there were times we talked about it over the course of 6 months a lot, and we didn't quite know where or what we were going to be doing, but we knew we were going to fish in Florida, and I wanted to do that for a long time. So there wasn't really the whole trip was a high point for me. Just being here, being with you guys.
Andrew took it to another level.
It was like basically like fishing with a guide, a professional guide, all week long.
Or better, because he has croquetas.
That fed us.
Romeo's breakfast every morning. Book with Drew.
Good stuff.
Book with Drew.
It was... I think I was trying to count it up. I caught 11 or 12 new species of fish. I think we...
Did you, real quick, when you came down to Florida, we're going fishing for peacocks. Yeah. Did you have any inclination that you would get 12 new species bucket fish?
No, I thought I was going to catch peacocks and maybe
a bass.
I didn't even think we'd catch a bat. Like I didn't know there was. If I didn't bring any bass stuff, like nothing.
And they were everywhere.
And they were everywhere.
Yeah.
But we can catch bass back home, so I wasn't. But I don't know. No, so I didn't have. I thought we might catch a couple, 2 or 3, peacock. I didn't realize that if you know where they are.
Catch 2 or 3 every time we get out of the truck.
Yeah.
When did you get your mega toad? Like, what day was that?
I was today.
That was today.
Yeah.
That was that one with the big hump.
Yeah.
That
big male.
I can't. They're all kind of running together. There's so much that we didn't take pictures of.
Well, we haven't slept much in 4 days.
Right.
So everything that we're talking about is like still in our heads. Yeah. We haven't processed it, and we're trying to tell you about it.
In 3.5 days, we fished, I think, 35 or 40 hours. So we were fishing hard, or 60. Yeah.
Your jag with Monster Mike was phenomenal.
That was probably my best moment.
It was. I was just going to say, I'm sitting here waiting to say that if you can't if you can't pick a perfect fish for you, I'd have to say that fish out of every fish I've seen was the prettiest fish.
That was
just slightly
fish, but
over the parrotfish.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's not a common fish. We don't have them in Broward. You don't have them in West Palm.
It was gorgeous.
I can't say. I just don't know a spot in Broward with them. But,
So what's it actually called?
I don't quote me on the last, but it's a Jaguar Guapote.
That's how Mike said you pronounce it.
Yeah, Guapote.
So,
I mean,
and it was a tank of that species. It was a big one.
They get bigger, but that was a big one.
Yeah,
that was definitely a big one. Mm-hmm.
The sunlight hitting that.
Oh, you can see all the different types of patterns. Lateral lines, spots.
If you would take like a crayon box and just melt it in this Miami heat and like put a wax coat over it and then throw water on it. It just had all these weird colors in it that, and it looked like a predator. It looked like something that was like, I have all these colors so you don't mess with me. Like it had a giant coat on it, said, go ahead.
Like a Jaguar.
Yeah. I will knock your day off. Just take you out. And I could do it in color. Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty wild. And then, I mean, all these beautiful fish, and then you actually really pushed hard. I could tell you wanted it for not so beautiful fish, but a toothy critter.
Gar.
That gar.
You pushed, buddy.
It's just a gar. That's the thing, is it's a gar, but we don't have gar back. I mean, not a lot of gar anyways. But
and then the fact that we fed him like 12 shiners.
And I couldn't,
couldn't get the hook set.
He's taking their mouth is very narrow. It's long, but it's so narrow. And we couldn't get the hooks. We fed them and fed them and fed them and fed them, and finally we got one today. And then, it was the last. Andrew dumped out the last of the shiners because it was time to stop, and I had one left. And I'm just
everybody here caught a gar this weekend.
I caught two.
Yeah, Will caught a tank gar.
Yeah, he caught a big one.
So it was the last one. The last fish that I had on was a gar, but. This was a phenomenal week.
It's not cliche to say you don't have a favorite.
Yeah.
And to say the whole trip was yours, that's Stevie's
I can't say there was a favorite part.
I like that. I like that answer.
Yeah.
There wasn't.
Will, you have a favorite fish moment?
I feel like I was the chosen one.
Every spot we went to, they magnetically went to. The tanks were Miser's here.
They did.
I'm going to steal his bait, and he's not going to hook set me. But you did it.
Got a couple. I found out a couple rules, and I just kind of stuck with it. Probably not. I'm not a guide, so I'm not going to tell anybody.
Keep your secrets to yourself.
What I was doing. I tried to share a little bit, but. It is what it is. I literally felt like not every hole, but I had, I don't know, help me out with,
solid fish every spot.
3, 4, everything up to, 6,
And you had another, your last fish was at least 5, was at least a 4.5, 5 pound.
Tonight?
Yeah.
It was I think a nice solid 3, 4 pound.
Yeah, 4 pounder. 3.5, 4.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to.
It was more of a long fish than a girthy fish.
It was. I mean, it was heavy, and I was like, you know what? This is a great fish to end on because it was. I felt like I was given too much already, and to end on that fish.
But you deserve it, bud. This trip coming down here, I've never seen. We've done a lot of stuff together, and we've planned a lot of trips that kind of fell through and never really happened. So I'm happy this one did because I can honestly say that this is our best trip as our group. Yeah. As far as watching the happiness in you three all week, I can honestly say that there was nothing non-win about this.
We pushed for everybody, and I think the guy that pushed the hardest was Drew. And
there's not many times in life when you can go home from a trip and go, there was nothing not awesome about this week. Like, there wasn't really anything bad about this week.
Drew, how was your Rutten River experience?
Awesome.
I know it was awesome. You and I are cousins, and we've been, you got to get down here and fish with me. Mm-hmm. You got to, I'd love to have you, But, when you meet the personalities that come along with us, it was
awesome. It was awesome. Just experiencing, all of you have, your own unique personality, and you all mesh together very well. Yeah. You work together very well. Not selfish. You care more about each other than anything, So it's just an awesome time to be around, a band of brothers that really respect each other and respect what they do and have a passion for what they do. You know, it's awesome to be around it.
That's one thing I wanted to add. A lot of times when you go on a hunt or something like this, there's always somebody.
A click, you have like someone out, yeah.
Something that happens that makes somebody cranky or something like that. There's always something bad that happens for at least for a moment. Never happens.
This group of friends is pretty tight. I gave my suite away to Steve and you.
Yeah.
Yeah. They gave me a suite, and I'm like, give it to my brothers. Yeah. Me and Will are good. We're kind of already settled.
My business associates, they need taken care of.
And when Will caught his big fish, I could see him take a big step back and go, go ahead, brothers.
Yeah,
like you were giving everybody the opportunity to catch a tank before, like every hole we went to. You literally took a step back and didn't get bait in the water first for a while because you wanted us. I could see you wanted everybody to have that same experience you had. So that was very cool of you. And it was like that all week. It was other than waiting for Stevie at every hole going, but one more cast.
This is so new. You know, this is so new. Like,
and it's not a bad thing. It's your personality. It made me happy all week. Going, we're not going anywhere.
Sometimes we need a break.
Yeah.
Spending 5 minutes at a hole and then leaving, it's just extremely new. You know, it's just
what that added up for us was Stevie still being in the sun while we sat in the shade for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Go on, brother. It's your vacation, man.
Yeah.
Just live it up.
I don't know how many times I said that this week. Do what you want to do, Bob.
No, you're right, Sean. That's a good point because I know a lot of times you go away with a group of people, and by the end of it, you're like sick of them. You know, we could stay another. I mean, I don't feel that way. We stay another week. I think
time, resources.
Yeah.
You know. Job, family.
Yeah. But it's from
we'd still be catching fish.
Still be catching fish.
We'd
have to put a brand new game plan together for tomorrow. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. And that game plan wouldn't start till noon.
I was going to say I'm pretty beat up from this week. I could do 2 more days, and then I think I'd probably either be a food coma.
Amen.
Or I would just have to write Lacey a letter and go, if you want to come to Florida, I'm now addicted because I'm almost at the addict level. So I got to leave right before I literally go moving to Florida to catch all these cool fish.
Okay, we have to give one shout out to our Stromboli restaurant.
Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah. So we can't not say something.
Santino's. Where were they?
Knows what he's doing, man.
Yeah.
Well, Santino knows what he's doing.
He does
man.
Everything we ate was epic.
Yeah. I've never ate a shrimp that big.
Listen, I don't very rarely go try my food. But I was literally shoving my fettuccine Alfredo at people going, no.
Everywhere.
Stop what you're doing.
Try it.
It was hands down. I always say it was probably in the top 3. It was hands down the best fettuccine I ever ate.
I haven't eaten a lot of carbs, the last, handful of weeks to,
it's been annoying.
Health reasons and this and that. And I couldn't help it.
We got in the truck.
It's all so good.
I had to try. Yeah.
We got in the truck at like 9 today, and at like 10, Stevie said, "Where are we going to get a Stromboli today?" And until 5.
At 12, he said, "Where are we going to get a Stromboli?" At 1, he said, "Where are we going to get a Stromboli today?"
Hey, I'm really hungry for a Stromboli.
It was different than our Strombolis, but in a good way.
It was. Yeah, it was nice. It was way different.
Yeah.
But Andrew, thank you so much. Like I can't say thank you. We can't say thank you enough because you just you knocked it out of the park for us. I was expected to catch 2, 3 little peacocks, and we all 4 of us.
I don't know what we were thinking. We could have never done anything remotely close to this.
Like we would
on our own. No way.
We would have we would have fished a pier at the wherever we were at today, at the Everglades there, and been irritated with each other. So, but
we would have baked for 5 days.
Yeah. So,
there's no words to describe how amazing you've been, Andrew. This morning. There really isn't.
Thank you.
When we get up to get ready to go fishing, Andrew's already stopped and got our breakfast and our bait and is pulling in. And if we're not ready, there's no time at all this week I've ever felt rushed. Your parents were completely amazing to us to let us ransack their backyard. I mean, I had wet clothes hanging on their table for half a day. I'm like, I'm sorry, Dad, about my socks hanging on your chair, but they're wet, and they're totally awesome.
They are.
Yeah.
They do
the whole experience.
They do a lot.
whole experience with you's been quite amazing. I definitely picked up another brother in life.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
And get it if you guys are coming down for this, Peacock stuff, and get a guide.
Get a guide.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Even if it's just for a little bit, get a guide, and then
Because you would come here and see no fishing signs everywhere, and I think there's no place to fish.
Because you got to learn the technique on how to catch them. Andrew knows, like he'll watch what you're doing and can talk you through learning how to catch them at first. Because he'll be like, "Dude, wait, open the bail.
You're tight.
He's tight. It's tight. He's gone. Go. Get him." Like he knows what to do. Whereas the first couple ones I tried, I was like,
you can't fish them like up home.
You can't. It's not fishing up home. There's a whole technique to it, and he can read them peacocks and what they're going to do when they're looking at that bait and how to twitch it right. And
I'd have been throwing a slip bobber.
It takes time. I mean, it's like studying. It's like studying anything else. White-tailed deer, knowing kind of what they're, turkeys. We're hunting turkeys, what they're going to do if they're going to go silent. Andrew can do all this down here. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So. I love you, brother. Thank you so much.
Love you too, guys. I'm glad you guys had an experience of a lifetime.
We sure
awesome.
did.
You screwed up. Not only did you get, you got 4 new best friends. Maybe you'll meet the other guys down the road, but we're not letting them come. So,
bless their hearts.
There's not enough room in your truck.
But unfortunately, your week's vacation now every year may just have to
be spent on this.
Have to be spent on this every year. But we're looking forward to you coming up with Rutten River, doing some hunting and fishing with us.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to shoot some stuff.
Yeah, so. Be a part of our field staff a little bit. Get more involved with us. It's going to be great. How can they find you, bud? I mean,
you can follow me on Instagram at Drew Pellerin. That's DREW Drew Pellerin PELLERIN, and that's probably the best way to reach me
for now. Yeah,
for now.
Yeah, awesome. Where can they find us?
www.ruttenriverpursuits.com, on Instagram at R2Pursuits, Facebook Rutten River Pursuits Podcast. Download the podcast on iTunes.
Stitcher, Google Play
Music, and Castbox.
I just want to add one thing.
Yeah, bud.
Since we've done the picture of the week 2D taxidermy, I have no clue which picture's going up there because we literally have thousands of pictures of fish.
Yeah, that's a good point. Check out the website. Check out the website. Catfish has been slaving away like a madman over the last 2 weeks.
There's
doing lots of
new
updates.
bios. Tug on the heartstrings. I can't believe.
And they're all spot on. Read those bios. They are all.
You want to get to know us that is.
He did it. He summed everybody up in a paragraph and by himself.
Don't know how he did it.
I don't know.
I couldn't have done
it. I don't know. But yeah, check it out.
You do realize the only true fair way to pick the picture of the week for our website on the cover page is just pick one that I took. I can't do it. You know which one I'm going to pick? If you guys want to see it, I'm actually going to pick a picture that I took of all the guys here on the bridge. And Monster Mike's in it.
Yeah.
Looking down, trying to catch this pea. And if you really want to see it, it'll kind of just sum up a lot. Like the group of being together with a team this week, working together.
Yeah.
It sums a lot up.
It's a big team, too. It's hard to usually, do what we're doing with this amount of people, but we made it work.
Yeah,
it's easy to do it with like 1 or 2 guys.
Easy.
Easier, but like a crew.
Yeah.
I want to just throw out the fact, too, that thank you, Steve, all week for not once complaining about sitting in the middle of the back seat of the truck. Because I know it was the hottest, tightest spot.
I loved it. It was...
And I tried to make you as comfortable as I could. So
stuck in between.
He stole my neck pillow all week.
That was a comfortable neck pillow.
Later, guys.
Later.
Peace out, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Rut and River Pursuits podcast. Follow the R2 Pro staff by searching Rut and River Pursuits on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until the next episode, we need to see you in the outdoors.